Shalom, brothers and sisters. We're about to do a covenant calendar teaching about the honor of the lepers. 2 Kings 6 and 7. Why sit here until we die? The honor of the lepers. 2 Kings chapter 6 and 7. Are we sitting there or are we going to do something about it? Why sit here until we die? Yahuwah is presenting to the minds of many divinely appointed precious gems of truth, appropriate for our time. Yahuwah has rescued these truths from the companionship of error and has placed them in their proper framework. When these truths are given their rightful position in Yahuwah's great plan, when they are presented intelligently and earnestly with reverential awe by Yahusha's servants, many will consciously believe because of the weight of evidence without waiting for every supposed difficulty which may suggest itself to their minds to be removed. Words of wisdom. Now, counsel from Galatians 1. Along with Paul, this is our prayer for those that are searching for Yahusha's end-time truths. Colossians 1:9. For these cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that ye might walk worthily of the master unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every word, and increasing in the knowledge of Yahuwah. Give thanks unto the Father, which has made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. Hallelujah.
A lesson from the lepers. This is a very interesting scriptural account about some lepers that were definitely not part of society. However, at the end of the story, everyone is grateful for these four beggarly lepers. You would be too. The details in the story reveal the new day begins with dawn, not sunset the day before. We might feel lepers have nothing to contribute to us or society, that they are not educated, refined in culture, and certainly they don't seem to care for others because they are so needy themselves. As we begin our search, there may be some questions. Number one, would you be wondering how these four rejected lepers of society could possibly understand when Yahuwah's new 24-hour cycle begins? Number two, do they have knowledge that would contribute to our understanding? Number three, will we choose to learn something from the lepers? Number four, or will we learn something we were not expecting? We should know by now, after a thorough examination of Yahuwah's calendar for day start, month start, and year start, there should be a good understanding that his covenant of the day begins with light in the morning, the moment when night is over and the new day enters. Okay, number seven, somebody else, not mine.
Oh, number 7.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
I
We
thought,
should know by now.
no,
After
that's number six. That's number six. Number seven, he's got to turn it in. Cecil, we need slide number 7.
Okay, you have another part to read on 6, though, don't you?
Pardon? Oh, is this part? Oh,
Yes.
is this still part 6? Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. We should know by now. After a thorough examination of Yahuwah's calendar for day start, month start, and year start, there should be a good understanding that his covenant of the day begins with light in the morning, the moment when night is over and the new day enters. With over 35 Bible testimonies, along with the strongest witness in the ministry of Yahusha, there shouldn't be any reason nor need to examine yet another day start study. We should know by now, after a thorough examination of Yahuwah's calendar for day start, month start, and year start, there should be a good understanding that his covenant of the day begins with light in the morning, the moment when night is over and the new day enters. With over 35 Bible testimonies, along with the strongest witness in the ministry of Yahusha, there shouldn't be any reason or need to examine yet another day start study. However, this leper study has a special purpose for those aligning with the covenant calendar. The experience of the lepers is one that many of us will go through in these last end times. We shouldn't.
just the
Okay, the lepers have something to teach us.
The story begins in 2 Kings 6, 24 to 33. Introduction. The land of Samaria was experiencing severe problems. Number 2, a drought had inflicted difficult times upon the people. Then Ben-Hadad of Syria moved in with his army, laying siege upon it. Food was at a premium, to say the least. The extreme hunger was so severe, people began to eat their own children. Samaria's king, Jehoram, son of King Ahab, blamed everything on Elisha. His intent was to plan and act upon a scheme to kill Elisha.
Second Kings 6, 24 to 29, 894 BC. 24, verse 24. And it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host and went up and besieged Samaria. Verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Verse 26. And as the king of Israel, King Jehoram, was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. 24. And he said, If Yahuwah does not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? 28. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him, and I saw unto her on the next day, Give thy son, and that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. Okay, 2 Kings 6, 30 to 31. King Jehoram's threat to Elisha. Verse 30, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Verse 31, then he said, Yahuwah, do so, and more also to me, if the head of Elisha, the son of Zaphat, shall stand on him this day. That's 9 again. Okay, Second Kings.
Question.
Pardon?
You just got to read the ending.
Right. Okay. Question, which day? A day that ends at sunset or a day that ends with the break of daylight?
Second Kings 6:32 and 33. Elisha has no fear. But Elisha sat in his house on that day, and the elders sat with him. And the king sent a man from before him. But ere the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, See ye how the son of a murderer hath sent to take away mine head this day? Look, when the messenger cometh, shut the door, and hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him? And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger of the king came down unto him this day, and he said, Behold, this evil is of Yahuwah. Why should I wait for Yahuwah any longer? 2 Kings 7:1. What was Elisha's response? And Elisha said, Hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and the gate of Samaria. Then a Lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of Yahuwah and said, Behold, if Yahuwah would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shall not eat thereof.
Question. Is King Jerome's referral to this day the same as Elisha's referral to his tomorrow? Definition for tomorrow. Tomorrow in Hebrew is machar. The definitions are Strong's H4279 machar. Tomorrow, in time to come, in the future. A, tomorrow as the day following the present day. B, in future time. In this study, we will seek answers to these questions. Number 1, when is the juncture for the next cycle change? Exchange. Number 2, does the cycle exchange arriving at sunset, as most Christian Sabbath keepers profess? Number 3, what about a cycle exchange at midnight, noon, or sunrise? Number 4, or will dawn prove to be the spiritual point, the scriptural point of the cycle exchange in this testimony?
2 Kings chapter 7, verses 3 through 5. The lepers have a plan. Verse 3. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said to one another, Why sit here until we die? If we say, We will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit still here, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us fall unto the host of the Syrians, If they save us alive, we shall live. And if they kill us, we shall but die. And they rose up in the twilight to go unto the camp of the Syrians. And when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man there.
The meaning of twilight. Strong's H 5399. Neshef from Old Testament 5398. Properly, a breeze, i.e., for implication. Number 1, dusk, when the evening breeze prevails, King James Version. Dark, number 2, dawning, of the day, morning, night, twilight. H 5398, Nasfath, a primitive root to breeze, blowing up fresh as the wind, King James Version, blow. Etymology Dictionary of the Hebrew Language, twilight, nefsaf. Number 1, to blow fiercely. Number 2, to become dark. Number 3, evening twilight, evening, morning twilight. Properly denotes the time of the evening breeze. You see Genesis 3:8, when Yahuwah walked with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Number 4, blowing. The meaning of twilight, the interlinear scripture analyzer translates this word as the groaming. The Webster's Encyclopedia Dictionary claims the word gloaming is of Scottish origin for fall of the evening, twilight, evening period. These 4 definitions designate twilight. Number 1 as evening, and number 2 as dawn. Will that hold true in this study? 2 Kings 7:6-7. The Syrians flee. And why did the Syrians flee in such terrified haste? Verse 6, for Yahuwah had made the host of the Syrians to hear of a noise of chariots and a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host. And they said one to another, lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Yahuwah had created a miracle that terrified the Syrians to the bone. They flew from only the clothes on their back. Verse 7, wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight, and left their tents and their horses and their asses, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. Which twilight? According to the definitions, this can be evening or morning twilight. Confirmation follows in verse 12.
Second Kings chapter 7, verse 8, miracles and surprises for the lepers. Upon entering the camp, the hungry lepers began feasting on all the food and stashing valuable items. However, it is very important to note the honorable thoughts of the lepers. Verse 8, and when these lepers came to the uttermost part of the camp, they went into one tent and did eat and drink and carried thence silver and gold and raiment and went and hid it, and came again and entered into another tent and carried thence also and went and hid it. 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 9. The lepers avoid the consequences. Verse 9, then they said one to another, we do not well. This day is a day of good tidings, and we hold our peace. If we tarry till the morning light, some mischief or punishment will come upon us. Now therefore come, that we may go and tell the king's household. Does it not appear the leper's day ended with the morning light? Yes, it does. 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 10, the lepers shared the good news. So they came and called unto the porter of the city, and they told them, saying, We came to the camp of the Syrians, and behold, there was no man there, neither voice of man, but horses tied and asses tied, and the tents as they were.
2 Kings 7, 11, and 12. News for King Jehoram. And he called the porters, and they told it to the king's house within. And the king arose in the night and said unto his servants, I will now show you what the Syrians have done to us. They know what we be hungry. Therefore are they gone out of the camp to hide themselves in the field, saying, When they come out of the city, we shall catch them alive and get into the city. Arose in the night. This is after the former evening twilight. 2 Kings 7, 13 through 15. King Jehoram investigates. And one of his servants answered and said, Let some take, I pray thee, 5 of the horses that remain, which are left in the city. Behold, they are all the multitude of Israel that are left in it. Behold, I say, there are even as all the multitude of the Israelites that are consumed. And let us send and see. They took therefore 2 chariot horses, and the king sent after the host of the Syrians, saying, Go and see. And they went after them unto Jordan, and lo, all the way was full of garments and vessels, which the Syrians had cast away in their haste. And the messengers returned and told the king. 2 Kings 7, 16 through 17, the siege is over. And the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. So a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of Yahuwah. And the king appointed the Lord on whose land he leaned to have the charge of the gate. And the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died, as the man of Yahuwah had said, who spake when the king came down to him.
2 Kings 7, 18 through 20. Elisha's prophecy fulfilled. And it came to pass, as the man of Yahuwah had spoken to the king, saying, 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and a measure of fine flour for a shekel, shall be tomorrow about this time in the gate of Samaria. And that Lord answered the man of Yahuwah and said, Now, behold, if Yahuwah should make windows in heaven, might such a thing be? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof. And so it fell out unto him, for the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died.
Is everyone's day on the same page? King Jerome's day, Elisha's day, the leper's day.
King Jehoram's day. King Jehoram was the son of a very wicked king Ahab of the northern tribes of Israel. Most of the time, the kings of Israel followed the pagan ways of worship and led the people to practice these wicked ways. Who knows whether King Jehoram was honoring Yahuwah's covenant of the day at this time? Or will the details in this account reveal the truth about this matter? When is King Jehoram's day? The terminology around the events of King Jehoram is given as this day. 2 Kings 6:26, and as the king of Israel, King Jehoram, was passing by upon the wall, 2 Kings 6:31, then he said, Yahuwah do so and more also to me, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat shall stand on him this day. According to the context, this event is taking place during the day season hours not the evening or night season. Jehoram's threat to Elisha is to be carried out on this day. Which day is this day? A day that ends at sunset or a day that ends with the break of daylight? Let's examine the two choices. When does King Jehoram's day begin? Does it begin at sunset to the next sunset, or at dawn to the next dawn? Depending on when King Jehoram's day begins, he only has so much time to carry out his death threat against Elisha before his day ends. With a sunset day, the threat given during the day season will end in less than 12 hours. With a dawn day, the threat given during the day season can extend nearly 24 hours.
When is Elisha's day? The terminology around the events of Elisha is given as tomorrow. 2 Kings 6:32. But Elisha sat in his house on that same day of the king's proclamation, and the elders sat with him. He said to the elders, See ye how the son of a murderer hath sent to take away mine head this day? Look, when the messenger cometh, shut the door and hold him fast at the door. 2 Kings 6:33. And while he, Elisha, yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him this day. 2 Kings 7:1. And Elisha said, Hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah, Tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. Oops, sorry, I thought I was done. Let me, okay. Prophet Elisha's day. The prophet Elisha would have kept and taught Yahuwah's covenant laws, including the law of Moshe and the covenant of the day. See Jeremiah 33, 20 through 26. He would have understood the day begins with morning, boker, or the first light that breaks the day.
Okay, Gwen, slides 30 and 31 are still yours. Go ahead with the chart.
All righty, I'm not great with charts, so let's see.
You're going to do fine. We're here.
Okay, when did Elisha's day begin? Okay, first we see dawn to dawn. We have the first day season that extends to the first night season. So that is our day. King Jehoram threatens Elisha's life before this day is over. We find that in 2 Kings 6:31. Elisha is not worried as the day is not over until the morning light. 1 Kings 7:1. There is a forward progressive movement of these verses and the events. Where is tomorrow for Elisha? So dawn, we have the first day season and the first night season. King Jehoram threatens Elisha's life before this day is over, 2 Kings 6:31. Elisha is not worried as the day is not over until the morning light, 2 Kings 7:1. And then we have dawn, which is boker, splits. And then we have the second day season. Elijah's prophecy fulfilled on the tomorrow about the same time of the next day from King Jehoram's original threat. 2 Kings 7:18. Forward progressive movement of the verse and the events. Boom.
Well, do you think Elijah may have had the last word in this story? Let's look at slide 32.
The lepers' day. The lepers were from Samaria, ruled by King Jehoram. We do not know the length of time they were living outside the city gate. If the people of Samaria were following King Jehoram's ways, including how he honored the day start, is it possible the lepers were following the same pattern? Or were the lepers practicing an alternative day start? Or does it even matter? Note, the lepers will have the clues to solve this whole mystery. When is the lepers' day? The terminology around the events of the lepers is given as twilight and morning light. 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 5. And they, the lepers, rose up in the twilight to go unto the camp. Verse 7. Wherefore they, Syrians, arose and fled in the twilight. They fled for their life. And when these lepers came to the uttermost part of the camp, after the evening twilight, they found the camp deserted. Verse 9. Then they said one to another, we do not well. This day is a day of good tidings. If we tarry till the morning light, some mischief will come upon us. There is more information in the scriptures for the lepers than for the king or for Elisha. The next slide charts the major timed events of the king, Elisha, and lepers. This calendar testimony must demonstrate the forward progressive movement of number 1, the verses from 1 Kings 6:31, 2 Kings 7:5 and 8 through 10, 2 Kings 7:12 through 15, 2 Kings 7:16 and 18. Number 2, the events of the next the next 24 hours from day 1, light season, twilight, dusk, night of day, to tomorrow of day 2, about the same time as day 1.
Forward progressive movement. Remember, all verses and events must move forward in an orderly manner. Dawn, day 1 season, sunset, first night season, dawn, tomorrow begins here, second day season. Dawn to dawn, tomorrow begins here. In the set. Number 1, King Jehoram threatens Elisha's life before this day is over. 2 Kings 6:31. Number 2, lepers rise up at Areb, twilight. 2 Kings 7:5. Number 3, Syrians fled at twilight. 2 Kings 7:7. Number 4, lepers enter the Samaritan camp after twilight. 2 Kings 7:8. It's deserted. They have a feast and food and treasures Then remember their good tidings must be shared with those in the city before the morning light to avoid mischief, punishment. Verses 9. Dun, dun, dun. Don the cycle exchange for the lepers. Number 5. Lepers go to Potter of the city during the night to share the good news. 2 Kings 7:10. Number 6. King Jehoram arose in the night to investigate the report. It was true. 2 Kings 7:12-15. This is between the two twilights. Did his day end at the past sunset, or it will end with the morning light? Number 7. City people spoil Syrian camp. 2 Kings 7:16. Keeper of the gate is trampled. 2 Kings 7:17. Number 8. Elisha's prophecy fulfilled on the tomorrow about the same time he said it would be on the next day from King Jehoram's original threat. 2 Kings 7:18. All right. Everyone wants to know if King Jehoram's was using a sunset day commencement. The next chart will attempt to demonstrate the forward progressive movement according to a sunset day start.
Did the king honor a sunset day? Number 1, it was during the day season that King Jehoram threatened Elisha. He would lose his head before this day was over. That's in the second number 1 night season, and then the yellow there, day season. Number 2, this means Elisha has about 9 hours to live before the 24-hour day ends at sunset. This is if he used a sunset day. Number 3, if King Jehoram's threat is to be completed, he must act quickly. Night follows sunset. Which night did the king rise up to investigate the leper's report? Number 4, the arrows pointing up to the number 1 night season there. If it is night number 1, this is before the king's anger at Elisha or any of the story events. Everything is backwards. Number 5, if it is night number 2, there has been a cycle change. It's not the same day anymore, and Elisha is still around. The events move forward, but do not remain on the same day.
Did the king honor a sunset day? Number 1, it was during the day season that King Jehoram threatened Elisha he would lose his head before this day was over. Number 2, this means Elisha had about 9 hours to live before the 24-hour day ends at sunset. Number 3, if King Jehoram's threat is to be completed, he must act quickly. The events in this day start testimony do not recognize a sunset day commencement. Neither did King Jehoram.
Kathleen, can you continue with the chart? Just follow it.
When did the lepers' day begin? Number one, King Jehoram threatens Elisha's life before this day is over. First day season. Number two, lepers enter the Syrian camp after dusk twilight. It's deserted. They have a feast on food and treasures. First night season. Number three, lepers remember all their good tidings must be shared with those in the city before the morning light to avoid mischief, punishment. Number four, King Jehoram arose in the night to investigate the report. It was true. This is between the two twilights. It is impossible for his day to end at the former sunset. There are no scriptural details for this. Number five, Elisha's prophecy fulfilled on the tomorrow, about the same time on the next day from King Jehoram's original threat. The record of events show the leper's new day arrives at dawn.
Yeah, Kathleen, I
Keep
forgot to
going,
tell you,
Kathleen.
you have 41 through 43. My mistake.
I didn't get those. Okay.
I know. I didn't
43. Okay. Was
Cecil,
everyone
just a second, Kathleen. Cecil, can you just follow with your mouse where they're reading and just kind of circle the different areas on the chart with your mouse so people can follow? Okay, Kathleen, go ahead.
Was everyone on the same page? Number one, King Jehoram knew the day did not end at sunset because Elisha was still unharmed 24 hours later. Number two, Elisha told the king about this time tomorrow. Everything will change. Elisha knew that tomorrow began with the morning light ushering in the next day. Number three, the lepers found the food and treasures long after twilight. The lepers knew the morning light changed the cycle. To avoid punishment, they called for the king that night on the same day. Number four, Elisha's prophecy was fulfilled on the tomorrow, just as he had prophesied. Was everyone on the same page? Number one, King Jehoram knew the day did not end at sunset because Elisha was still unharmed 24 hours later. Number three, the lepers found the food and treasures long after twilight. The lepers knew the morning light changed the cycle. To avoid punishment, they called for the king that night on the same day. Number four, Elisha's prophecy was fulfilled on the tomorrow, just as he had prophesied. Yes, definitely, King Jehoram, the lepers, and Elisha, the prophet, understood. Each new day arrives at dawn. All honored Yahuwah's covenant. King Jehoram's day, Elisha's day, with the break of daylight, the leper's day. Forward progressive movement. 2 Kings 6:31. King Jehoram determines Elisha is to lose his head this day. 2 Kings 6:32. Elisha knew about this threat before the messenger arrived with the news. 2 Kings 6:33. King's messenger arrives with a dreadful threat. 2 Kings 7:1. Elisha proclaims about this time tomorrow, or about 24 hours later, A measure of fine flour will be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel. Forward progressive movement. 2 Kings 7, 3-5. Lepers at the city gate decided to search out the Syrian camp. They left at dusk, twilight. 2 Kings 7, 6-7. Also at dusk, twilight, the Syrians fled from their camp, leaving everything behind. 2 Kings 7, 8. Lepers arrive at the empty Syrian camp and begin to spoil the goods of the tents, food, clothes, silver, and gold during the night. 2 Kings 7, 9. Lepers realize the good tidings of this day will not last if not shared before the morning light.
Forward progressive movement. 2 Kings 7:10. The lepers head back to Samaria and call for the porter of that night. 2 Kings 7:11-12. King Jehoram rises in the night to hear the report that he doubts. 2 Kings 7:13-15. The king sent servants with chariots and horses to investigate the reports is true. Forward progressive movement. In the morning now, the other one's at night. 2 Kings 7:16. The Samaritans also went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. Elisha's prophecy for the fine flour and barley is fulfilled. 2 Kings 7:17. About 24 hours later, from 2 Kings 6:31, the gatekeeper is trampled and dies, fulfilling Elisha's prophecy. Check mark. Some of the facts for the lepers. The lepers found bread in their time. For number one, time were tough. The city was under siege. Number two, people thought they were safe, locked behind walls, but they were starving. Number three, the lepers were considered unclean and tossed outside the city. Number four, the lepers had no choice but to go and look for food or die. Number five, when they looked, food was provided. Number six, the unclean lepers were the ones that brought the good report of free food to those starving inside the walls of the city. Number seven, that day, the people were thankful for the lepers. Lepers' lesson: if you get, give. How does this testimony relate to us? Yahuwah's children find bread at the end times. Number one, in the end times, we will have tough times as well. We may be under siege in a spiritual way. Number two, Christians feel they are safe, locked behind the walls of the church, but many of them are starving. Number three, Bible students that are finding newly discovered truth are often considered unclean and shunned by fellow church members. Number four, these dear ones have no choice but to go and search for living bread or die spiritually. Number five, when they search, Yahuwah provides them with the best bread. Number six, although labeled as unclean, they attempt to share their treasured food with starving souls in the church. Number seven, unlike the story of the lepers, many in the churches, fellowships, are not thankful for the living bread of the so-called unclean. Will we be subjected to a leper experience? Would honoring sunset be considered fellowship with darkness? Counsel from Ephesians 5:11 and 13. 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And number 13. All things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever does make manifest is light. What does it mean to reprove others? Counsel from 1 Thessalonians 5. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Number 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that they should overtake you as a thief. Number 7. For they that sleep in the night, sleep in the night. For they that sleep, sleep in the night. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Number 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Number 5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Or lesson. If you learn, teach. How easy is it to share what you have learned? Share gently like Yahusha, remembering everyone has a choice. Share what you have found, but allow the Ruach to convict. However, do remember, when defending what one considers to be sound biblical principles that are considered as fundamental articles of faith, it is important to use sound biblical arguments that will endure the highest scrutiny. Would the worship statues qualify as a fundamental article of faith in these last days? Does that link to following our master completely according to his covenant of the day? Highest words of recommendation. 1 Peter 3:15 and Colossians 4:6. 1 Peter 3:15. But sanctify Yahuwah in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. The final goal, a peculiar people. 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Isaiah 9:2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Also see Matthew 4:16. Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid, that shall not be known. Mandate for a peculiar people, 2 Timothy 2. 2. And the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. Number 7, consider what I say, and may Yahuwah give you understanding in all things. Number 15, be diligent to present yourselves approved to Yahuwah, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Number 24, and a servant of Yahuwah must not quarrel, but be gentle to all, able to teach patience. Number 25, in humility, correcting those who are in opposition, if Yahuwah perhaps will grant them repentance, so that they may know the truth. Yahuwah's peculiar people. Will the kings and priests forever in his highest Melchizedek or priesthood? If you need assistance with this information, please send your questions to Charlene or Timothy